All right, welcome guys. Little Sunday night pocket change market report for June 8, 2025. I'm your host Sean with Blue Ridge Silverhound. Today we're going to take a look right on eBay, some of the die varieties and errors that made an impact here in the last day or so, and then this will give you a little bit of an idea if you have these same cards or coins rather, whether or not you should sell them or how much to sell them for. It's a great barometer to what the market is currently doing on these live as we go through them. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in. A few little ground rules. Number one, we don't talk about graded coins. The idea is here, you find these, you take pictures of them, and then you list them. Very little work that's involved. You just sit down and collect some cash at the end of it all. Grading, you have to spend $30, $40, $50 to grade some of these varieties and errors. And why do that when there's generally no, guarantee that it's going to enhance the value of these coins? Another thing, the images, 100% original to these sellers' listings. Essentially, you're going to see the worst and the best that eBay has to offer. So you might even get a little bit of a photography lesson by just simply looking at some of these images. And there are a few that we're going to take a look here. So thank you guys for tuning in. It's going to be a lot of fun. Quick shout out to channel sponsor Whatnot, another platform that I am actively engaged in. I sell not only on eBay, but Whatnot has been my huge driver for secondary market sales. So we sell premium selections of type coins, currency, world paper money. There's no better platform to use today. Live social media selling is the ticket today. If you're not joined up, well, what are you waiting for? I got the QR code right on screen. Join up today. You get $15 off your first item. If you didn't want to use the QR code, I'll also have the links down below in the description box and also pinned into the comments of this video. Hope to see you on one of our many shows. We got a huge summer promotion running right now where we are going to be giving away a beautiful Garrett AT Pro metal detector. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So I hope to see you guys there. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into some of these selections. Should go pretty quickly. We got about 20 listings to talk about, starting with this 1984P Washington quarter. And yes, it is struck off center, probably by about 10%. While nothing too crazy, I wanted to let you guys know that this is a semi-tougher date for this particular mint error. And as some of you are may not aware of, folks are collecting these by date. So they're collecting them by maybe a full decade, or they're doing a full run of the copper nickel clad coins. They have some sort of popularity because of that. And yeah, you're probably right in saying, well, it's unreasonable to find these in a roll of quarters. And you're probably right. But where there are other opportunities to find these is going to be a coin show. Dealers who typically don't care about mint errors or varieties, they'll just put a price on it. That's going to be way too cheap and throw it in the bargain bin. I cherry pick coins like this all the time. Now, this particular one ended up selling for $22.51 with a trio of bids. Next one that we have here, our first piece of paper money comes in the way of this 1977 A series dollar bill with a couple of what we call gutter folds. And how this all works is that there were some wrinkles in the subject sheet that just simply got printed over. So after all the printing's done, and these things are cut, and they've been batched and put together, and then sent on their way. Pretty easy to see if you see wrinkles on your note. All you have to do is kind of do a little stretch job on them, and you get something like this. That's quite neat. An unprinted gutter. This one actually has two of them on there, which is even more relevant. The more gutter folds that you have on a singular note, the more visually eye-appealing they are. There's a little look at the reverse there, showing that the note is actually in really good shape. It did circulate a little bit. There is actually a distinct centerfold on this particular example, but someone did find it. They sold it and ended up making $102 off of 33 bids. So there you go, case in point. Something of extraordinary value coming out of change. I mean, who would have thought that something like this exists out there? But, I've known about it for over 2 decades. So here's a great one here. And if you're able to find one of these, congratulations. They're actually quite valuable across most grade ranges. 1943 D over D RPM. This is the FS501. It is, for all intents and purposes, the biggest variety that you could find on a 1943 steel cent. And that's comparing the P, D, and S all together. This particular variety is tops among all of those different types. So when you look at this model here of the close-up of the date and mint mark, you can see the secondary Denver mint mark has been punched south and west of the primary. It's also in the Cherry Picker's Guide, the Red Book Price Guide. It's a very well-known variety. This one right here ended up selling for a buy it now of $75.80. So it's the buy it now price, including shipping as well. Another great variety, if you have those soda machines at work that likes to give change in the way of presidential dollars or Sacagawea dollars or Susan B's, be on the lookout for this one. A lot of people have found these, and they are quite common, but they are very valuable, and they are another Cherry Picker's Guide variety. On a 2,000 piece Sacagawea dollar, this one is what they call the Wounded Eagle variant. When you look at the close-up on the right side of the picture where the eagle is, you can actually see a raised line going through the eagle's breast feathers. That is actually a die gouge that has been translated over to the production of the coins as a couple of raised lines. And you guys have an idea of how this one got its namesake, the Wounded Eagle, because it looks like a speared item going through the eagle there. Even this coin here, which has circulated some, you can see it actually on the obverse there, the circulation where this one ended up selling for $71.43 with 12 bids. So again, case in point, these things, they sell very well. If they're in decent shape, you'll get more money for them. Some pristine examples out there have sold for many hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. So grade really truly plays some sort of role in actual valuation of this particular variety. Another cool one here, you guys saw a little preview. We have a pair of 2 cent pieces, 1864, the one on the left, and then 1868 is the coin on the right. Now, this one was sold as an error set. Obviously, the coin on the left looks a lot better, more presentable as a type piece than the one on the right, but the money shots are on the reverse. As you can see here, now the 1868 has more going for it. It's got a couple pretty notable pre-cuds and a pretty big size cud right over the C and A in America. The coin on the left just has a few neat little die cracks, and that's pretty much it on that one. Outside of that, it's a decent looking coin for a type set. So with this pairing here, they ended up selling for $70.99 with 2 bids. So there was some interest here. Someone will probably add this to their collection. There might be a chance where each one might be sold individually, where they can make a few extra dollars in the process. Keeping in mind that eBay is still a great area to pick up coins that are priced too low. All right, and especially keep an eye out for some of those larger lots, and one in which we'll talk about here in this video. Pretty cool one here. Check your scrap silver. You might find one like this. 1961 Franklin half dollar. Boy, this thing has seen the work of commerce on a daily. When you look at the reverse, however, check out all the lamination peels on there. A lot of it is still retained onto the coin, but you can see that, this one was flaking apart like a freshly made croissant. Now, the coin itself has circulated quite a bit. It's not a high-grade specimen, but this is kind of a testament to the searching that we do. Never, ever overlook or bypass a coin just because it looks a certain way. You never know what you're going to be missing out here. Now, melt value-wise, a Franklin half dollar is right around $12 in today's market. However, the sellability as a mint error will take this one a lot further. For example, this one ended up selling for $49.99. If all we cared about was stacking silver, you could sell this coin as a mint error, take that money, and then buy more silver half dollars, and then hoard them, stack them, or buy a 1 ounce silver bar, or whatever you want to do. But keep in mind, this is where you can kind of take advantage of errors and varieties for your own financial gain. Because at the end of the day, we're trying to make money. We're trying to make it a business. And, there are lots of collectors for coins, even when they look like this. Next one that we have here is, it's a 1909S. It's a semi-key kind of date coin. But this particular coin just goes to show you the popularity of improper alloy mixes, also known as woody wood grain, linkage cents. These things are hot right now. Everybody's selling them, and everybody is so receptive to this new direction of numismatics that they're shelling out a fair amount of money for some really nice examples. Again, it's all in the visual eye appeal here, folks. So this one right here looks really pretty on the obverse. There's not much to be said about the reverse of the coin. It just looks like a very circulated 1909S. So this one right here ended up selling for $125, which is a pretty good amount of money for this coin. A little bit of a bonus amplifier of sorts because of the wood graining. But keep in mind that, this is something that's not going to go away. People were looking for a little bit more affordable direction into coin collecting when everything else has gotten too expensive. And guess what? Improper alloy mixes or woodies are the thing today. Here's also a 1977A $1 bill. Just simply a fold over error. So the corner was folded over, cut, printed over, all that great stuff. Pretty neat error. There's a little bit of the reverse picture there, but also showing that even with these type of errors, they tend to go unnoticed. This one did circulate quite a while because you can see the stains and all that stuff on this one. It sold for $185.60. Exactly what I would expect a note for of this type would sell for. And again, grade doesn't matter here, folks. When you have a very rare piece that doesn't show up in the marketplace, people will pay up, regardless of its condition. This is one of those examples right here where, the condition really didn't matter. Also here with this one's actually a neat looking note. 1974 $20 bill with a grossly misaligned overprint. That's all due in part to, just a sheet that was misaligned in the stack. It's very much a imperfect world we live in, and things like that still happen even to this day. Beautiful looking piece here as well. It's actually held up very well over the last, 50 years, And these are very well collected as well. The severity of the misaligned overprint is what really, really drives the value here. This one sold for $157.49 with 15 total bids. Kind of a very, very small event on this one. Very innocent, and, sometimes it will get overlooked. 1908S Indian head cent with just a little bit of a clip right there at the top of the Indian head coin. It's got the Blakesley effect actually on both sides. That's very easy to see. Just a little shallow sheet clip, is all this one is. $41.45 was the sale price, and that's probably about 8 times what the actual value is of this coin in VF. Pretty neat one here. 1974 Canadian quarter that was struck on a 1 cent planchet. All right, so we see these particular errors on U.S. coins, like a Washington quarter that was struck on a linkage cent planchet. And we also see them on Canadian coins, but to a much lesser degree. And that's why these things are really expensive, is that they are about 10 times more rarer than any of the US types of that same process. There's a little bit of a weight as well, 3.2 grams, which comes in drastically underweight on this. And it ended up selling for $517. And that's with 29 bids, by the way. Whereas a comparable US version probably sells for about half that. So that's proof that these are quite tough to find and locate. And there's just not enough to fulfill the demand of some of these Canadian error collectors. Say not the greatest of images. We were bound to find one here. 2021 Lincoln Shield sent with what they call the K3 to K7 die crack, and that's what this one is here. It's the earliest form of this terminal die state. This one ended up selling for $86, and that's with a pair of bids. The coin has seen the paces of daily life. All right, it's not perfect, but this again showing you that there is still some value in ugly, and this one fits that mold perfectly. Yeah, pretty nice lot here. A lot of 21 various US Mint errors. So I'm going to point out first and foremost how much this one sold for, and that was $177.50 with 26 bids. So just knowing that information alone off of 21 total items, that comes in at about $8.50 per coin. All right, so here is where you can take advantage of this, and that's all in the art of the resale. All right, taking each individual coin and relisting it back onto eBay at like a buy it now number, and you're going to very easily net out 2x profits on this one. Just based off of what I'm seeing, this one is actually a great lot to buy into if you're going to just flip the coins. Here's a little bit of a close-up of a few of these. We saw some cuds. There's like 3 or 4 cuds in there. That's going to soak up a lot of the value. There's a struck through cap die. There's some rim clips, off-center strikes, double strucks, strike through grease. I mean, this thing is awesome. I wish I would have seen this. I would have jumped all over this one. Anything under $200 is a tremendous bargain on this lot. Here's a couple more close-ups of some of the off-center struck coins and partial tilted collars. Wow, what a fantastic group here. Again, $177.50 is a steal for this one. Coming up next, speaking of steals, this one is kind of a steal in wolf's clothing. It's actually a $25 strap of 2013B duplicate star notes, and they're all in great, crispy, uncirculated condition. These are all Fort Worth printings, which are the more later printings of these. I think these were printed right around early 2017. So duplicate stars are still all the rage today. The market is huge on these. It's my understanding that uncirculated notes tend to go for about $50 to $100 pretty normally. So this particular $25 lot ended up selling for $699. So there is plenty of money to make here if you open up the strap and you sell each note individually. It's going to be a pretty good kind of money collect here on this one. Nice cut die break on this Lincoln Memorial set. We don't know what the date is. 1980s, I would assume, but you could see where the piece of the die had broken and fallen off, creating this event you see here. All right, so during the strike, all of the metal flow during the high pressure of that strike will go into the area of least resistance, being that empty cavity in the die, creating, like a raised kind of blobless anomaly right on the coin. So this one here is selling for $56.99 with 27 bids. Cuds are kings, I keep saying that, and I will keep saying that till the end of time. Here's a 1982 large date copper as well, popping up here on eBay. This one here also selling for $52.87 with 28 bids. Again, healthy market here on this one. And the coin looks to be in pretty good shape. And finally, we also have this 1972D Jefferson nickel, this time to cut on the obverse, right over the word "we" and "trust." So that's where the die break occurred on this one. So this one here is selling for $31 off of 14 bids. Kind of a bargain on this one. It could have very well hit, $50. And the coin is in much better shape compared to the two Lincoln sets. And here's another great woody wood grainer. This is quite possibly one of my favorite looks on this. I love the fine graining on the obverse on this one, but also you have wood graining showing up on the reverse, which is cool. That's what you want to see on some of these very collectible wood grainers. So this one right here is selling for $24.95, and that is a tremendous market for this. Considering that just a mere 5-6 years ago, good luck selling this one for $1. No one was really paying attention to wood grainers, and now we're in a completely different story and situation with these coins. Beautiful Roosevelt dime off-center struck error, 1980 Philly. This time this one is struck off-center by about 20%, give or take. Great looking coin. Again, Roosevelt dime errors are waking up in the market today. Might have to do something with the upcoming redesign of the coin for 2026. We shall see, but collectors are taking notice, and because of that, coins like this have never sold better. This one, for example, ended at $65.99, which is not the typical price on these coins. If you went back approximately 1 to 2 years ago, these were sold more likely for about $25. But they're not cheap anymore. People have taken notice of these. And the last item for this edition of the Pocket Change Market Report, is going to be a unique one. This one is a Lincoln cent that was struck on a split planchet and then struck through a capped die. So there was actually a coin stuck to the die, and this one had all sorts of weirdness happen to it. This is the first time that we have covered a coin of this type. So I suppose you could call it a dual error. The planchet had split in half, and then it was struck through a capped die. I guarantee you there's probably maybe 2 or 3 of these known to man. That's how rare it is. So the coin itself, someone scooped this up pretty quickly to the buy it now of $129.25. And to give you an idea, this one is underweight, 1.4 grams. So that is going to wrap things up for this edition of the Pocket Change Market Report. I am your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound. Again, just to reiterate, the information provided in this video is strictly for educational use only, not financial advice. Please collect and or grade your coins responsibly. Well, that's going to do it. I thank you guys for tuning in. It was a lot of fun, and I hope that you guys find some of these coins out there in the wild, whether that's roll hunting from your local bank or going to a local coin shop or show. You can have the chance of finding any of these coins out there. Buy it cheap, sell it high. The good old age adage. Same with investing like in the stock market. You do the same exact thing. You do it here on eBay as well, and rake in some money. It's pretty easy. That's going to go ahead and do it for this one. Again, I'm Sean. Good to have you guys here aboard. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell for instant notifications. Love you guys. Have a great time with the hobby as much as I am, and keep on collecting.